It's a boy, Mrs. Walker. It's a boy. It's a boy, Mrs. Walker. It's a boy. A son. That's enough of that. That kind of relates to a friend of mine, but he may not see this. But I have asked him to. So, it's been a very wet time just recently, and we were due it by where I can see the snow's gone, the thaw wet, and then it rained, which got rid of every minute piece of the snow. So today, it being Sunday, it's quite nice, bright, and I'm not going to say it's spring-like, but in kind of August, you can kind of feel the autumn creeping in. Well, I can feel, dare I say it, the spring creeping just round the corner. So that's great. Leaves on the trees. That's what I like. Anyway, I like all the seasons, but you know how you kind of pine or yearn for the one that you're not in? That's what I do anyway. I wish my life away. So, I hope Cousin Mungo didn't upset anybody. He upsets me a bit, I must say, with his attitude. But, like I say, blood is thicker than water, and you've got to let these people have their say. So, it's very unlike what's happening on YouTube now, because certain people can't have their say, or supposedly, yet a great deal of them are being promoted. Have you seen this? Mr. Cheswick did a great video on it, where all the kind of lame-assed, ridiculous people who try to derail the subject are being promoted, and the people who stick to the facts will not get a look in. So it seems. So you're not allowed then to use the scientific method and challenge the status quo, obviously. However, if you understand what the scientific method is, what it consists of, what you must do to fulfill the criteria, then it's not science. The whole ball bollocks, the spinning ball nonsense, space balls, vacuum of space, infinite Big Bang bollocks, is all that. It's bollocks. It's nonsense. And we know this because it doesn't follow the scientific method. Flat earthers are constantly accused of not being scientific. And however, the people who know the earth is flat, came to the conclusion because of the scientific method, in my opinion. The people who really do know it's flat and will not falter from that position unless science shows otherwise. So, the scientific method, things have to be repeatable, measurable, and falsifiable. You can't do that with the sun, the moon, the wandering stars, the Big Bang, which is apparently now outmoded anyway, because it's such horse shit. They had to think of an alternative, because people were probably just dropping like flies out of that nonsense theory, because it is. nonsense. As in, the meaning of the word nonsense, it does not make sense in our reality. Nonsense. It can, like our language has been messed about with, so words don't have meaning, the true meaning. If you're sure of something, you should be certain of that. What you're sure of, you should be a positive certainty. But if you think of the film, I hope most people have seen it, and if you haven't, watch it because it's a great film, Pulp Fiction, where the character played by the bald fella, I can't remember his name now, who has a motorcycle, or he pinches a motorcycle off Zed. Oh dear, sorry about this, but I'm sure if you've seen the film, you know what I mean. And he's a fighter. Butch, his character's name is Butch. That's right. And he kills his opponent when he'd been told to. This has got nothing to do with it, really. When he's been told to, what's the word? Throw the fight, fall on the canvas, and pretend to be knocked out. Anyway, his father had a gold watch, and he was in the Vietnam conflict, and he hid it up his arse. This is just a story, but I'm just trying to explain how language has been messed about with. So, this character asks his girlfriend, "Did you get the watch?" And that's the only thing that means anything to him. The watch that his dad hid up his arse. I can see Christopher Walken explaining it to the young Butch. But that was just a great scene. Anyway, his girlfriend says, "Yes, I'm sure." Now she wasn't sure, and that's what I'm talking about. The word "sure." And there's many, many more that I can't think of right now. But the scientific method should not ever deviate from the path of falsifiable, repeatable, and measurable. And you always should challenge the conclusions, try and disprove your conclusions after the conclusion has been come to after repeating the experiment several times. So you always want to try and that's how you falsify. You change the situations, the whatever, the materials. But if you use the same method, you come to the same conclusion time after time after time. Then there's only one conclusion to take from that. But if you challenge, seemingly, the pseudoscience that we now living under, or the vast majority of people seem to be totally mesmerized by the pseudoscience spinning ball bullshit. If you challenge that, then you have to go and stand in the corner with the dunce's hat on. You made an example of, you made to look foolish, you are ostracized and eventually banned from your social media platform. Probably. At the moment, they're just saying, "Oh, we won't promote these people," but of course, they'll, in my opinion, the ones who just kind of give up because they're not getting any views, which I'm not going to do, by the way. I know my views are very small, but I don't care about that. What I really wanted when I first started doing this was like an avalanche of people like me doing it as well to overwhelm the social media, and then the authorities would, and that is kind of happening. I must say, I keep seeing many new faces doing this, which is great. But that's probably now the reaction to the many new people. They're not going to promote these um, people talking about the nonsense of pseudoscience. Instead, they're going to push them to one side, cover them up with something, and you will have to search to see these um, channels. So it's a bit sad, really. Well, it's very sad, but it's a great indication to show that one, we're making an impact, having an impact on the status quo, and um, tenacious people will not give up. So they're on a loser. I know people have talked about going off YouTube and onto another provider or whatever, but I'm sure the same thing. I'm sure the same thing would happen on that place. So I don't know what the answer is really. Just to keep doing it and hope that the snowball, bigger and bigger and bigger as it's growing, will not will will roll down the cliff and smash the stupidity of the people who believe in pseudoscience and nonsense. Mark, is that my kettle boiling? It probably is. Yes, it is. So I'm gonna. I don't know how long I've been. Oh, it's a short one, people. So you'll be relieved. And I'm gonna go and make a brew. Get on with what I'm doing, which is plastering. So I'll see you in a while.